Alrighty then, welcome to today Dynasty the podcast show. I am your I don't know who that is, but I know they want to get their little cameo every day. But welcome to the show. I am your host, Ira Thomas, Mr. Ford. Today is a great day. Friday, so hopefully everybody is out doing a last end of the day type of situations. If they got assignment or work, whatever you want to call it. I call it assignment because I'm only picking stuff that I want to do or need to do. That the Most High asks me to, in my spirit to do. I don't actually listen to hot air people. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I just got off the phone. It was a great phone call for me that made my day. So I'm still active in the community. I'm not taking. Let's put it like this: I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm trying to stay the course. Hopefully, everybody that I ever spoken to with you know, we call it game in the streets, but wisdom, plans, vision. Just hopefully everybody's sticking with what they chose to do, and just know I'm not hard to communicate with still. I'm trying to put myself in position for my family or my close friends or people that I'm associated with to actually be able to use me in the greatest way. And that's one of the main things. I gotta actually stand up for my family and my child and make sure these demonic forces that's trying to control the world and the populations in a worse way. They got to take a seat right now. They got to take a sideline. It's crazy. I only been going to that senator's hall office. The office. I call it the hall because I'm only in the hallways. I'm only going into the hearings to gain knowledge of the United States. I don't know about everything going on from each state, but the more I go in, it's not based on. It's a lot of this stuff that they report on is irrelevant or it's been going on so long that they just finally get to certain things and closing out on certain things. And one of the things that they still are have on the agenda today was armed forces. And that goes back to what I was saying. I'm gonna read down the notes and the senators that spoke from the day yesterday. And it was there was a lot of fast talking, but it also, it's basically a review of what was going on yesterday that I got to sit in on. A little I got to sit in because I try to keep my schedule and their schedule be whatever it is. So if I didn't get enough information or I didn't get the right information, they got to come out and be more upfront. They got to come out and tell people what it is. This is not closed to the meat. This is not closed to tax-paying citizens of the United States. Anybody that has a social and a birth certificate in the United States of America can go in here and listen. Now, if you don't have the intellectual ability to decipher what they're talking about or to break down what they're talking about, which I think I do, which I catch everything they, especially if I'm in there the whole time, which I barely, I try to spare them every time. I try my best not to get in to a war to a political warfare that I can't handle. When you tell me stuff intro based and what the plan of overall plan is, it's up to me to make a decision as a citizen to go off that. Now, if I stay the whole time and y'all cross examining the defense, and I'm in there the whole time, I'm trying to go on which side I want to be on. I'm trying to pick. I'm not on that level. Y'all haven't paid me enough. I haven't put my name in the ballots, or I haven't got to a level in far as I could be in this level if I go on, but it's so corrupt in my state. So look. It was the corruption has been exposed at the highest level in 2026. So, I am not beating on my chest saying I'm one of these people that exposed them, but I know how to decipher. So I went up there today, and like I said, they still got to make sure that these wars that they have started, um, that they have to actually, make sure that they end these wars without us getting blowed up. Literally, United States of America get blowed up. And I don't want to sound like I'm in fear. I'm not in fear. I'm not the one who started these situations. I'm not the one who still want to control I don't. I'm not the one in favor of them, controlling every piece of um, artillery, or being the person who is in charge of keeping how much artillery everybody got. It's getting greedy at that in that point, and it's the reason why is because they the main ones that wanted to be out front. They took control from these European countries that, I talk about it all the time. They don't know the history for real. They want to be gung ho over this 250 years that they've been on the United States, been in North America turf, but they don't really want to go back to their European roots. And then if you go back, that's why I was speaking on that United Nations ruling on the United States of America of basically, I don't know who finna go to prison or get kicked out of their position, but it's happening. They shut down the whole senator's office for a whole month. They ain't coming back till April, it said. So I'm gonna check on Monday, see if everything's staying on what they said. But them senators are in trouble just as much as the people who's over the cabinet, the person who's supposedly in charge. And I talk about these files that they are already 3 million pages worth that probably used in those things to go against the people that have taken over for their parents and grandparents over the 250 years, or great grandparents. Which, if you do the math, that's about what they at, about 4 or 5 generations in right now. I'm way more. My generations extend way past that. I told y'all that already. The way my grandmother told me, and the people who yelling from the United States Army about how much they know about my great grandmother and my grandfather, and stuff that they want to, try to make it seem like people are going crazy, which is not the example. It's just the ranking that I have, or the ranking he have, and I earned my ranking, whatever it may be on the field. I earned it. I played. I coached. I'm finna get back to doing the greatest, being one of the greatest to ever do it. And I'm going to, and that's barring all this demonic forces that want to mess up a game that they literally came off, from slavery and drafting these people. We transformed it into being technically sound and disciplined. And, people still want to practice old slavery tactics in this game that I actually love, but I'll fall back quick as it can, because it helps you with discipline. It helps you with preparation and anything in life. And that's the message I always gave since I've been coaching. And that's the message I'm always going to give, whatever field or whatever team I'm on. And the fact that y'all ain't letting me get my own facility or my own teams, and y'all tried this hard to work for the demonic forces, and y'all still failed, that tells you what it is. Yet that force would never be with you. Or the forces that I am will never be with you. You always gonna be at the bottom of the field, no matter how I look, no matter how chipped my tooth got, no matter how much ether y'all try to steal from the back of my head, or the internal energy y'all try to steal from my mother, and y'all stole from my father, whatever you may call it. And it's nothing confusing about it. I'm telling it how it is. Half of y'all look goofy as hell, skin and bones, looking crazy as ever, and the only thing you got is a position, and that position is about to get stripped from you because the United Nations is not playing. That's the whole entire world. And I hate to tell you, I told you what it is. I ain't gonna keep. I don't want to sound like I don't got a lot of family in America, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna get back to doing what I love to do, though, and y'all not gonna stop that. So, if they learn, how you doing, sir? If they knew how to change their trajectory of what they were taught, they would be more advanced. But they haven't. They really want to have this dark underworld, undertone how they talk, and it's actually, it done spread it into the generation, my child's generation, and it's a lot of arrogancy. But they're gonna fall so far on their face because I look at it like this: my child 10 years away from being at that ripe old age of having her own child. And that's just how I look at it. My niece 8 years away. They're gonna be out of college probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if they decide to go to college. So I wouldn't even look at it like that. It's like they looking at it. I'm gonna be 40, 10 years, 30, 44 years. I'm not even gonna be old, so it's not gonna be nice for y'all. The trajectory that y'all going at, the pace. Y'all teaching y'all children at some at a teaching y'all children how to be a white supremacist, or that trying to be in that small little group of people that wants to control enslaved minds or bodies or energy or whatever they trying to transform it to. It's not going to be a good system. It's not a good system. Y'all don't produce the type of children we do. Y'all don't produce the type of the women we have, or even be able to build buildings or even come up with ideas, or sophisticatedly do things because the way y'all raised. Y'all don't know how to work with others. So hopefully you get the message. I'm not sending it down a distant way, but they done gave y'all what it is. Like they gave them a whole month off up there. That don't mean it might be closed. It's probably still gonna be open. So I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be doing work. I'm gonna be preparing for my show every day. I'm gonna start just tapping into these museums. They're gonna give me time to go ahead and do real detailed work on history of America from the Capitol. So it's gonna be one of those situations where y'all gonna make me change a little bit of my direction off of, giving out the game that they giving out in these hearings where they ain't got no real defense and they on the fence already. So the fact that they try to exclude you or me if you on the same type of time I'm on, that's gonna give them time to put people in position. We're gonna hope that they do the right thing. We're gonna cross our fingers. They already got about a huge case against the United Nations for the whole entire country, and then they got nothing to do with people that say African American. It ain't got nothing to do with people who say Pacific Islanders or Mexican and non-black. It ain't got nothing to do with them people. It got everything to do with people that say white, because that's who started it. That's who claimed they were over the slaves, the white man. This is in the historic books, so they can't run no more. They got to stand on it. The grandchildren and the parents and the grandparents that's still alive that's standing on it. Y'all got to go on up there to the United Nations and stand on what y'all say. That ain't got nothing to do with me. They put it in C-SPAN. They put it in CNN. It only ran for one day. So they don't want that exposed, but they gotta handle their business, and the United Nations got to make sure they ain't doing no corruption when it comes to dealing in these situations. With that being said, let's go right into full details. I told y'all what these hearings was about yesterday. The first one I went to was about basically the new age banking and updating Exim banking. I don't really know nothing about Exxon Bank. I went in on a day of something I didn't, have. That's not my main focus. Banking to me is some of the most. Let me tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you this story because I got great friends all around. In Florida, I got some good friends that don't even hang with me because the type of government hate group that is against me. Like I ain't got no friends because of these people are hating. They want to kill my friends and family members type of situation. And I ain't being funny. Look. I'm glad it has not happened, but they had to leave me alone and let me get fried up and slandered out and all kind of gimmicks ass shit they done did. And I hope hopefully I could get back around to my girlfriends that wanted to, that seen the truth for what it is. I'm still a cool person. I'm still a good light in the room. I would never be. It ain't nothing. I'm not no pushover. They know that. So that's why it's like, he's not a pushover. So we try to finesse him too much standing around. That ain't gonna happen. But hopefully I could get back to it. Cause I know people. I see people, man. The people that I came across, they not poor. They don't have poor mindsets. They still, most of them be by themselves or their children. So I respect how the movement is. You get what I'm saying, especially my age group. So I just want people to know that I'm not intimidated by these people. That I just want. It's more like I did do a horrible job of keeping my same phone, and I know a lot of people kept their same number. It's like stuff that people tell me all the time. My mom used to tell me this all the time, and I used to be like, man, I don't even like phones. I would be like, because that's not how I was. I tell the story all the time. Like the person I called, like I don't got too many big brothers, but we knocked on each other's door and we was outside. It's like this is like one-on-one stuff that I learned. And it'd be hard for me to like change that because it's way better to do it that way. It's still 2026. It's still way better to pull up on your real people and not use these gimmicks and these phone calls and these emails, because people don't learn how to decrypt and get in all your business. And I swear, I'm so happy I kept all, like, because I used to be. I remember when I had got my BlackBerry, and that's what made me stop really getting into, because like they had the what it was the other form of text. They had their own little text now, or what's the other one? They had a little system. They still got it. It's BBM BlackBerry is still around. They're just not as advanced, or it's still that keyboard type of energy on the BlackBerry. But most people don't have BlackBerry. They all iPhones, or they get or they go to, what's the other brand? The Microsoft version of phone. I call it Microsoft. But y'all know what I'm saying. They the thing, I was getting messages, and I was getting um requests from people that I did not know at all. And this was like this was the time right before catfishing became big. It was like, well, if I keep texting these people, I want to know who they are. I don't know where they live. They could be saying anything. They could be, I don't know about how much screenshot was used at the time, but it wasn't a big thing. But this is what made me be like, and it made me stop wanting to be on phones that much, because I realized I'll be texting a random ass person. I had, clout was good. It's the people I was around, random people, it was cool. But you got, at some point, you don't want to be that known for that guy to be friends with everybody that don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the movement. You want to have genuine friends. You want to have genuine teams. So I got out of that, and I started coaching sports right away. So basically, I transformed, that energy of trying to. I was not into that because I wanted to get to like the community outreach type of situation. That's what I was. That's my ultimate goal of staying in that realm, So I was like, I'm great at it, and I have fun coaching sports, and and I'm right into what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's big. That's a big thing. And today I call it. I looked up the definition of expurgate. I'm talking about expurgate, and the definition is to cleanse of something morally harmful, offensive, and eroseness. So when I walked into the building today, and I seen that they cleared the whole schedule, I say, well, that was very fast, And I won't say I did everything. I'm pretty sure it's people with way more powerful, the lawyers that my friends may know, the money that they saved up. I got family members on the same type of tip. People in the going to the lead that don't, they don't try to blacklist people. I don't see all kind of stuff from deep. And these people I care about, but I know they ain't coming from a poor standpoint. I know they want to slander something that's big, and I know my little section is probably their little section in the grand scheme of community way. They already done got their money game on, and it ain't a bad thing. I don't want people to understand this. It's like my cousin said to me like this: "What's mine is yours," and me and him was like that since we were little children. So it's kind of, that's what my elite youth association comes from. It's like, it ain't really what's mine or yours. It's like my facilities is yours. That's why I used to tell my players when I get it. That's what they're gonna be able to use to gain what they need. And I'm in a facility right now where I'm already in the realm of like, it's like there's a situation like they got sewing classes. They got a machine where you can make your own t-shirts. All you gotta do is have a plain t-shirt. Then you got laptops, and you got the studio here, and they building one in Chicago. If they already got a little section over there for free, that's coming in June. So they this stuff I don't have. This stuff, when I tell you I made this plan when I was like 17, 18 years old, and I committed to it. And I remember telling my mom that I want to have a nonprofit that's bigger and better than the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club, because I don't want no, from my understanding, I'm not dissing the YMCA. I was on the brochure in the YMCA. I wanted I probably said that 3 or 4 times on my show. I don't want to go against the YMCA at no point. These people can reach out to me for putting me on their brochure, and they could help me with my nonprofit at the age that I'm in, and what I actually did in the community, since they want to throw me on the brochure and not pay me. But with that being said, and this is me as a child, the YMCA was like a homosexual gay club, community club or something in the beginning. You know, you seen the YMCA song that was based off of them. You know, going. You know, we could talk about the Epstein files all day. You feel me? These the people that was trickling in there. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't famous. They was trickling in there though. These owners, these undercover directors of movies and all that, you know, they all trickled in that file, in those files. And you know, I'm not dissing them because once I got to the Y, it wasn't like that. You know, we had some real thorough people watching over it, and it ain't got nothing to do with being untough. You know, so we used to go YMCA to YMCA to compete. We used to be in every part of the Pinellas County competing. So, and I'm pretty sure once everybody got a little older, we expanded out the temple. I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure the team went in, and that's what happened. It wasn't no joke. We used to go to the water parks, and the theme. I was there for those when I was a child, but you know, it's all how it go, man. I want it to be. It's gonna be in a bigger level. It's gonna be state to state instead of city to city, and that's the way route I have to go. It might be country to country. I got ties. I got real ties. So you know, I got to clean up this slander that they try to do to have me chained up in the United States of America. But I'm not forgetting about America. I don't put too much time and effort into doing stuff here. There's so many people that's corrupt all around the world, and the stuff that they try to do to deter me, to make me be in a still spot. You can't have, you know, I talk about this about, you know, if you ever play chess and you get a pawn all the way across the board, which is what you start off as if you don't come from money. Which, you know, I don't think I started off as a pawn, but I got put in a pawn position because I have a lot of women in my family. So if you know anything, when you grow up, you know the queen piece is the most powerful piece. So I can't have my all these women here get sacrificed because we in the white supremacist type of land or territory, which is the United States of America. So I got put in a pawn position, and I still got to be in a look, still kind of in a knight position or a bishop or whatever, you know, whatever piece that I'm mostly is, because I have a young child, and you still want to sacrifice my child, and you still want to sacrifice my nephew, because he got to be in a pawn position because he going through the same thing I'm going through. A lot of females he got to protect. So you know, once we cross that board, which I've got to reaching a lot of, I've reached a lot of success. I had to make sure my little sister have success in the community as a woman, as a mother, the same with my niece and my older sister. You know, so these are things that, and then it goes to the same thing, right? Right behind them, literally, like if it's 1A, then it's 1B. I got several niece cousins or that I could call my sisters. That's how close I grew up with them. I don't want nothing to happen to their children either. And they like my nieces and nephews. If not, that's what it is. So y'all putting me in a position where I ain't gonna never be in a position where I could just sit. And that's how it comes down to. And you know, this is a message to the people that's a part of Elite Youth Association or Elite Association, where we're gonna transform that to. When I definitely be at the age of 40, because it ain't gonna be no more. It ain't gonna be nice when my nephew gets 16, 17, and my child be out of high school. It's not sweet at all, you know. So that's why I be thinking about like, hey, I should be in a relationship, because if I have some children, you know, right after it, they not gonna be in a situation of poor or nothing. I don't believe. I'm predicting that, you know, of want or any like, you know, any kind of confusion. You know, it ain't gonna be no more confused people about who I am as a person or what I stand for. You know, so it wouldn't even matter. But yeah, I just think about those things coming up. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But let's get right to it. I really know it's Friday. I ain't really have much to say, but that's what I see. That was the title. And you know, that's what it is for today. Now going right into it, I was speaking on it. This is the stuff that they was talking about. This is what Senator Chairman Wicker, I think that's his last name, To counter all opposition, we are seriously behind all world leaders in nuclear arsenals. Russia has developed. They claim Russia has more developed. Their their development of nuclear power is rapidly growing, and they're at a war right now. What do you expect them to sit there and be getting blown up? They would lose. They claim that Ukraine was beating their tail in the war, and and the fact that these are the people that supposedly on the United States of America side, Russia, China, and we're still in competition with these people. This is why the whole hand has been shown to the world of what side United States has picked. But all overall, they still don't want to be deemed beneath these people. This is the arrogancy though. So when this is what I can't believe they did it. It was like simultaneously they was talking about these things. So I left this room, and this is also what they was. I'm gonna continue what Senator Chairman Wicker was talking. What he said to specialize in space war, destroying objects and satellite and entities. That's what China is better at than us, supposedly. So, and then they's like Korea also is a risk. They're over there building their nuclear arsenal as well. That's what he was speaking on. And this is the last statement that I wrote down. We must expand so we can understand and counter all threats of tomorrow. That's what he said. So they're sitting up here in no man's land. Y'all started with these people. Y'all sold to these people. Y'all did this to that people. Y'all don't like these people. And it's like one of these positions where you kind of create all this turmoil with all these people, and you want to also compete with the people that's supposed to help you instead of sometimes taking a back seat, instead of asking them, hey, I want my defense so great, y'all could be in front of all this offensive stuff, but my defense don't need to be in period. And they kind of put that out too, because they got a defense where it's not supposed to be it's not supposed to be able to get through. Basically, if we all on defense in America, which is what they're getting to. That's why I think they all left the buildings and they all trying to clear house with all these interns that are, I don't know what they had going on before I got up here, because I definitely surprised them. I walked in the building, they did not expect me to come in there, and I walked in there real looking like, I don't know how to explain it. I had a little haircut, but I didn't come in there looking they didn't know what they expect, and they didn't know how much I already done put out for majority of the part. I'm sure some of these senators have people who know about me, but I ain't never come from a lack. Of the stuff they put out on CNN was so surface, is worse than my surface based stuff, because they ain't put no details out, and that's what was frustrating me the most. They'll go right into it. I haven't even reviewed. Somebody, sorry about the noise in the back. They tried to, yesterday they did they look, the people who talking in the back are the people that's mad because they got caught up, and they just sent a little female in here, and they want to talk loud, and they need to get up. They better do more. I got a female that's on top of her game in media, so they better find a media outlet and get to the media, because we putting the foot on everybody's neck still. So they ain't even on that level, and they ain't even spiritually inclined, because that's what we on right now. Because you got to be spiritually inclined to be protected around here. And people the attack that they did yesterday was so corny. There's so many cornballs out here, man. There's so many weirdos. They all want to be attached, but don't know how to communicate in real time. That ain't it. So that's the issue going on right now. Now, what Senator Reed was saying, because they mentioned this person, the fact that they mentioned people that I know, and I know she not even in the space of like trying to, it's more like she has a whole section of, I'm not part of her story. I'm like a side, like a way, like a past side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even that deep. It's more like, I hope we come past. It's probably mutual how it is. Like, we cross paths at the top type of situation. It's never gonna be like hate though, especially on my part. But females are females, and I like the way things is going when it comes to people speaking on the correct things and showing how to flex, how to step, how to motivate, how to stay motivated. This is the stuff that I care about, especially if you're a female speaking out loud, or you got to be actually on these front lines in the political world. Either or will be suffice, and I ain't playing about neither one of those. My child, when one of them gonna be on the front line politically, one gonna be on the front line when it still got straight A B students, so it's all good. But yeah, let's continue. Senator Reed is the guy who and this was more on the Orange Forces one, because this is when I was like, I didn't remember who these people names were, but Senator Reed, he spoke with the most sense. He said, "We are operating in a very dangerous time in military space advancement." This was when they was talking about this space. These are space cadet was speaking in defense for the we the people, and he didn't know what the heck he was talking about. This the guy that flunked the 5th grade space cadet test in elementary school, and these not the senators, but the other people that's supposed to be in charge of military. So, and they actually got high ranking positions. This space cadet had high rank, and the other guy and his flunky shouldn't even be in the space cadet program. But that's what I was trying to describe yesterday. So I'm read exactly what they were saying out their mouth. Senator Reed, we are operating in a very dangerous time in military space advancement and could be threats testing on the U.S. soil in Alaska and very close to other Pacific territories. Basically, he was saying that there's people like China, I forgot, Russia. It was Russia or South Korea. One of them two countries was he was saying they were testing. I don't think it was Korea. It had to be Russia, but they were testing close to United States soil, which is never a good thing. That means it's that close to being a war, because you accidentally blow some shit up over here, we're gonna retaliate. We're gonna blow all your shit up on the coast and the water, and the water is supposed to be for everybody. So they up here trying to claim water territory. That was a stupid thing. But it's just one of these situations where they wanted to make it seem like they doing something and they are already out of position. They already on our, they already. You ever seen some of these movies where they was like, we've been in the water for 10 years, we're sitting in our position. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what type of situation that they be on in the other countries. They wait for us to slip up, and they probably could get us so many times because we ain't got enough men and we got a bunch of fags and homosexuals running around trying to run our military, and they think it's cool. It ain't cool. Y'all done did all this evil stuff and y'all ain't got the right people in position. That's what I was talking about yesterday. But we ain't gonna dwell on the negativity. Luckily, people on this land have a sense enough to learn from their grandparents and have sense enough to learn from the people before us. But these people also are targets of the UN because they gonna put them in some crash dummy ass situation, crash dummy ass wars, and it's confusion. And I ain't exposing nothing that ain't already been exposed. So don't come at me sideways. I don't want you to look at my grandfather. My grandfather is alive and he did not do nothing evil to nobody. So you better make sure you get your facts straight, partner. Look, let's continue. $10 billion of special testing program, so we are unaware and can diagram the threat before the catastrophic threat actually happened. That's what he was saying. So Senator Reed had some real sense about this situation, but he also looked very terrified when those two defense guys were speaking. So he probably got a little bit of experience in the army or space, being in space in our space programs and whatnot. So he was able to speak very knowledgeably about what he knew when he was there. They had to call him in from where he was sitting on his chair, about retired as a senator, and he sounded like he was so disappointed when the people were speaking. I could just see it on his face. Shoot, so it's like one of them situations. They got to regroup. They got to call their real men. That's it. They got to call 3 or 4 men from each station to regroup what's really going on. They not prepared. They can't come out here speaking like that. And then they need to be on the fence about the enslavement. They should have been paid anybody that's African American. They don't put all this money in European hands. Y'all got kicked out first. Y'all got kicked out of Europe, and y'all come over here in North America and still pay these people as immigrants and forgot to pay the African Americans that y'all went and snatched off their land or had a real, very, very polite and nice agreement. Some of these people was putting, and when they came over here, they was snatching their women and children up, separating rape for their husband and whatnot, and raping their women and children and all kind of stuff that y'all know about in the text that they put in these colleges and about Black history. So That's all I can say. I'm gonna continue because I don't want to sound like a repeat from yesterday. I don't want to sound like that person. Now let me read to you what this space cadet said. Oh, I just told you what he was complaining about. He was complaining about that they don't have the proper and right to eliminate the type of allies, but they want white soldiers in the program. So he believes African descendant and Black Americans are not smart enough to be behind analytical and advanced technology. He is prejudiced, and I don't even know his name. I was just going in. I was just writing stuff that I thought he was saying stuff, and I was like, "This is what I deciphered from him." But y'all got that yesterday. I just stopped listening to him and I left. Him and his platoon was not intelligent enough to get anything locked in for me. You know, I passed my space cadet program in fifth grade. I was good. I was at the space center. I was having a great time. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I was starting to tell y'all about I don't want to go too far. It's Friday, man. I'm gonna keep it short. I spent on what I was talking about. I went in there today. They got the message. It's not gonna be nice. They're gonna have to go find some white supremacist Ku Klux Klan political politicians that are worthy of even coming back and forth with me. I don't even have your station. I'm pretty sure you got my station now. I ain't stun you, so y'all better come correct. This is what I was born here. I wasn't really born. This is where y'all put me at, as far as defense of African American and African descendant being and native of this land, being from Florida, that y'all know is still one of the most populated areas by white supremacists and Ku Klux Klan members that should be hiding or should be in prison for the heinous things that their parents and grandparents practice, and we gonna still go at it about like that. So more power to my people, and hopefully they get the picture. And I just want to say, this is Dynasty the Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We are doing an elite State of the Union. I'm gonna drop it Saturday, so I'm gonna drop my elite State of the Union tomorrow. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all know what it is. It's gonna be real hectic when it comes. And you know what I feel? I feel like if they just go about it the correct way. Keep it on the media and the political realm. You ain't got to do nothing evil to me. I ain't coming out here because to the fact that y'all know a couple of my football players got killed, and my cousin got shot up, and he's that close to me like a brother. I don't understand how y'all could even feel like y'all think y'all supposed to attack me any kind of way, except unless it's with words. And how y'all made sure my God ascended and tried to make my uncle slow and my grandmother not remember who she was, and all this stuff that y'all know about stem cell control based off the ranking that my grandfathers both have. And the same thing y'all trying to do to my mother right now, which y'all need to stop because y'all not that intelligent about it, because y'all doing the same thing to me and my child already. So y'all just mad about the being that I am, the strength that I have, and y'all got all these people that are strung out on opioids and cocaine, and they need to go hide under a rock or go back to Europe. So that's all I have to say. I am your host, Ira Thomas Mitchell Fourth, and I will see y'all tomorrow for the Elite State of the Union. Goodbye.